Oh, God. What a Grand Prix. That was amazing. This is what I've been looking forward to all season. Let's face it, the F1 season of late, this season, has been absolutely dog shit. Let's face it. It has been the most boring season ever in Formula One. Ever. More boring than 2014, when it was basically a Hamilton and Rosberg show. More boring than 2015. More boring than 2006. More boring than 2004. Let's face it. Now, 2004 was quite good, but more boring than 2002. Let's face it. This season has been dog shit. But today, I loved it. I loved it. You had everything. You had safety cars, cars breaking down, engines flying off, brake issues, black flags, session stopped, session restarted. We've had 3 new guys on the podium, finally. Not just seeing Mercedes 1 and 2 and Max Verstappen in 3rd. We finally saw someone different and at this magical podium. Magical. Finally. And who is it? Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly. The guy that Christian Horner should have never ever got rid of. They got rid of Pierre Gasly because I thought, nah, we're good enough. We'll give you a few shots at it. You failed. See you later. We're going to bring in Albon. Albon was supposed to be this big saviour for Christian Horner and Helmut Marko. But what has Albon done this season? Jack shit. Getting penalties, finishing. I don't even know where he finished. I know he wasn't even in the top 10. Making excuses about his setup. Making excuses that the car doesn't feel right. How much time does it take for you to get your car right, Albon? You're going to look yourself in the mirror and think, you know what, maybe it's not for me. Maybe I shouldn't have made that jump to Red Bull. Maybe I should have stayed at Toro Rosso. It was called Toro Rosso at the time, now it's called AlphaTauri. Maybe I should have stayed there. Because that's what he's got to be thinking. And I know Christian Horner, there was no sign of him after the race. Pierre Gasly, yes! That is a perfect example of someone who got knocked down. He could have just crawled away, went back to Toro Rosso, exploded, made mistakes. He could have done that, but he never. He went back to his team, went back to his old team, and he got better. He's improved. Nobody's going to tell him that he's not good enough to get in Red Bull. Forget Red Bull. He should go to McLaren. He could get, the way he drove today, he could get in any team. Mercedes, Ferrari definitely need him. Pierre Gasly, he deserves, if anybody deserves it. I know this word gets thrown a lot around on the internet and videos and reviews. They all say, oh, deserve it, whatever. You deserve it. He's a millionaire. It don't matter. This guy deserves everything what is coming to him. The internet is blowing up. You know what? The internet is blowing. Look, we're going to put on Twitter here. Look at the Twitter feed. Christian Horner. Christian Horner is nowhere to be seen. Albon is probably in his room, in the pack. I don't know where he is. He's probably in his room, his spare room, wherever they go after the race. In his room, crying into a pillow. I guarantee Albon's there. He's lying down on his pillow in his little room, his little restroom before the race. He's in there crying into his pillow. Because he's nowhere to be seen. And Christian Horner is nowhere to be seen. Helmut Marko is nowhere to be seen. They're going to have to make a big decision now. Johnny Herbert come raw on TV. He was on Sky Sports TV. Johnny Herbert says, look, at the end of the day, they need to get rid of Albon and bring in Pierre Gasly. Done. Easy. Jenson Button said the same. The majority of Paddock are thinking the same. You had Lewis Hamilton going up to him and congratulating him. You had Max Verstappen going up and congratulating him. You had Charles Leclerc going up to Pierre Gasly and congratulating him. Everybody is happy for that guy. If anybody deserves success, it's him. Pierre Gasly deserves everything what is coming to him. He needs to be in Red Bull. He wants to be in Red Bull. He's a Red Bull driver. They just couldn't give him time. They couldn't give him time to develop his skills. They had to pressure him and pressure him and pressure him. They got rid of him, and like I said, he could have went to shit, but he never. He regrouped, put himself back out there, and look at him. Daniel Fiat is nowhere to be seen. He's going to be on his way this season. See you later. But I ain't going to miss him. I won't miss him. Pierre Gasly is becoming one of my favourite drivers. It's just a story. You could write a film about him. Comes into Formula 1. He said he's fought for everything. He never had nothing handed into him on a plate. He's fought for everything in Formula 1. He's come into Formula 1. He's gone into Toro Rosso. He gets promoted to Red Bull. Horner puts the pressure on him. Go and watch Ride to Survive Season 2. Horner puts the pressure on him. Too much pressure. Like bully boy tactics. Because that's all Horner is. He's a bully. Bully boy tactics. Putting him on flipping Pierre Gasly. And Gasly. What happened to Gasly? The pressure gets him and he gets demoted back to Toro Rosso, now AlphaTauri. And he regrouped and he got himself back in there, and he deserves everything. He deserved that win today. He deserved it. Look at the Twitter blowing up. He's got everything about. Look, let me put my Twitter on. Here we go. We've got Twitter blowing up. You got Pierre Gasly there. He goes, yeah, Formula 1, yeah, that's happened. Pierre Gasly. There you go, at the stage. He goes, at the stage, we do have to call him to a question of management ability of Christian Horner. Yes! You have to call this right here. You have to call his management into question. He's the man to lead Red Bull now. He was all right in the other era when he had that 4 years in a row. But now, he ain't won nothing. I can't see Max Verstappen staying there. I said it yesterday in my video. Max Verstappen, he wants to be winning titles. He ain't going to win nothing with Red Bull. I told you that before. You're not going to win nothing with Red Bull. They need to change the dynamics of that team. Look, Christian Horner, Dan's, there you go. R.I.P. Pierre Gasly, DMs, there you go. Mostly from Christian Horner. Look at this one here. This is my favourite. Look at this one here. Right? It says, Christian Horner peeling off Albon stickers and putting Gasly's back onto the wall. Absolutely amazing. Peeling off Albon stickers and putting Gasly back on the wall. Absolutely amazing. Look at this one here. Christian Horner, Helmut Marko dropped Pierre Gasly instead of giving him time to grow, so we won a race in the B team. There you go. Look at this. Pierre Gasly is all over the place. Two of the drivers of Christian Horner deemed not to be good enough for Red Bull. Exactly, these two. He said that he wasn't good enough for Red Bull science, and he says that Gasly wasn't good enough for Red Bull. And who's on the podium now? No Red Bull driver, none. Albon, where did Albon finish? 5-second time penalty. He didn't finish the points. What a disaster season. If you look in the top 10 of the most disastrous seasons in F1 history, it's got to be Pierre Gasly. Not Gasly, Albon. He's got to be up there. What a disaster. You can't blame Hamilton now. Remember there was all blaming Hamilton at the beginning. Oh, it's Hamilton's fault crashing into him. Yeah. Bollocks. He's dog shit and he shouldn't be in that team. Pierre Gasly should be in that team. Look at all these here, look. Has anyone checked Christian Horner lately? There you go. Has anyone checked Christian Horner lately? Pierre Gasly wins. Look at it. All love for him. There you go. Christian Horner remembering he changed out Gasly for Albon. There you go, hiding. Nowhere to be seen. Christian Horner. Nowhere to be seen. You can go fuck yourself. And you can go fuck yourself. There you go. It's all over the place. He's lighting up. It's lighting up all the love for Gasly. And they're all taking the mick out. Look at this. They're all taking the mick out of Christian Horner. Christian Horner, nowhere to be seen. Look at this. Christian Horner realising he might have been right to begin with. Oh, man. This is great. Because you know what's going to happen. If they don't take Pierre Gasly back, Pierre Gasly will go somewhere else. Some people might go, you know what? I'm not going to go back. He dumped me. No, why should I go back? Why should I? I'm going to stay here. Probably for another season. He could do that. He could stay at AlphaTauri for another season. Do one more season. He's young enough. And then wait for a big team to pick him up. He could do that. He could easily do that. He doesn't necessarily, he might not want to go back to Red Bull. Maybe if Red Bull offer him, he could say, nah, I don't want it. He could do anything he wants. He deserves everything he got. And like I said at the beginning of this video, it's nice to see someone else different on the podium. Brand new podium. It's a breath of fresh air. Now, before getting to this race review, it's not going to be a long one today. I'm going to get into this review. How about Valtteri Bottas? Every time that Valtteri Bottas has got a chance to capitalise on Lewis Hamilton's mistakes, which is very rare, he never does it. He was stuck behind Lando Norris for half of the race, and he couldn't pass Lando Norris. People are going to come out and say, yeah, but the heating issues, the car overheats. But look at Hamilton. Hamilton was at the back, right? He was at the back because he got a penalty. Yeah, he got a penalty for pitting, right? He shouldn't have pitted. He pitted, and he got a penalty, a 10-second time penalty. So he had to stay in the pit for 10 seconds, stop and go. But he managed to catch up the pack and nearly catch up Valtteri Bottas as well. Why couldn't Valtteri Bottas catch up to Lando Norris? He was talking about, he's pressuring his tires, didn't feel right. He was actually saying at the beginning there was a puncher. I don't know where the puncher came from. I know there was probably a puncher in his arse. I don't know where that puncher was coming from. Let's get with the review. Crap. There we go. Crap start from Bottas. Carlos Sainz passed Bottas. Like Bottas was a go-karter, and Carlos Sainz is a pro driver. That's what it like. He was a pro driver, and Bottas was the rookie. That's how Carlos Sainz passed Bottas. Very easy. Lando Norris as well passed Bottas. Bottas start coming on the radio and say, look, I got a puncher. And I'm thinking to myself, nah, he ain't got a puncher. He's saying that to style it, but he didn't get a puncher. They said to him on the radio, no puncher, car's fine. Right? Albon goes to onto the grass as always. How many times does that guy have to go onto the grass? How many times does the guy have to go off the line? During practice and during qualifying, he must have gone over that line at least 20 times. 20 times. They said, look, push the car more. It went over the line, lap deleted. And in this race, first chicane, he lapped up, went onto the grass. So his bad luck continues again and again, Albon. Lap 7, Ferrari's worst nightmares came to life. Vettel, his car stopped. Engine, yoke. Engine problem, lap 7, it wasn't the engine, it was a brake actually. His car broke down, it was a brake failure, all over for Vettel. Radio, Bottas come on and said, look, the guys said to turn Bottas, we're going to have to go for the long stint, so look after your tyres. Try not getting the dirty air of the car in front of you. Because he was sandwiched between the Renault behind him and the McLaren in front of him. And he had Daniel Ricciardo was breathing down his neck. You had Lando Norris in front of him. Couldn't pass Lando Norris. Tried his best, couldn't. Lap 17, engine mode. Lap 18, Leclerc, hard tyres, pitted, put 2.7 seconds. Decent pit by Ferrari. Not the best, but he was okay. Lap 20, Haas Magnussen broke down. This is where it all happened. Haas broke down, brought out the safety car. Hamilton went into the pits. They were saying the pits was closed. Hamilton went into the pits with Antonio, and they both put the tyres on. They both come out and said, look, there's going to be a penalty because he went into the pits and he should have saw the line saying the red crosses. He said he never saw them. He said it was. He said Hamilton said it should have been on the front of the pit, at the entrance of the pit. They said no, it doesn't have to be at the front of the pit, and he got a 10-second time penalty. So that was it for Hamilton. That was his race gone. The only thing he could do is try and make it a damage limitation. He needs to try and catch up the pack because because he got the penalty, he's going to start at the back of the pack, and on the restart he'll come out and then he'll have to pit, and then he'll be at the back, and then the only thing he could do is put on the hard tyres and go for the motor, and that's what he tried to do. But I'll get into that in a minute. Hamilton, Joe knows, he gets picked on the safety car. Lap 23, safety car, McLaren double stacked. Safety car, lap 25, Charles crashes. The safety car comes out again. Charles crashes, and it was all over from there. It was all over from there. That's 2 Ferraris out, and it wasn't because of the Ferrari's dog shit engine. It was because of Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc admitted himself it was his fault. The reason why he could not, he was on one of the, that corner. I forgot the name of the corner now, where everybody was spinning off in practice, where Gasly went over the line about 25,000 times. He spun there and he went into the barrier, and that's Charles Leclerc's race. It looked nasty when he hit the barrier. I was praying to myself, I hope he's alright, and he came out alright. And he was a bit shocked, obviously. If anybody goes into the barrier at the miles per hour Charles Leclerc was going, anyone would be shocked. And he looked shocked, he come out, but he was safe. And obviously the medical team checked him out, and he was fine. But again, 2 Ferrari cars out of the Italian Grand Prix. It's not happened like that since, I think it was, I don't even know, probably the 80s. So, Mario and Luigi, alright? This is what I call them, Mario and Luigi. The stewards, all the guys that pick the cars, are supposed to take him off the track. This is during the safety car. They take the cars off, they take him off onto the trailer. Two little guys doing it, nearly dropped the Ferrari, actually dropped the Ferrari car. Nearly mash up the man's car, mash up the Ferrari car. The car was dropping down there, they was holding it, Mario and Luigi. Didn't know what they was doing. They looked like they had too much drink last night, because they looked like they was getting over a hangover, because the way they was holding that car, they looked like they was drunk out of their goddamn mind. That's what it looked like to me. And I thought, don't drop that car. The steward guy had to come on and say, what's going on? What are you doing with the man's car? Chill out, get the car off the track, let's get the race going. So Hamilton was on his scooter. This is during the time where everyone said he got the penalty, but this is just before he got the penalty. He knew the penalty was coming. Bono told him that the penalty, he's coming. So he went on his scooter, started driving off. I think he went to the toilet to have a shit. Probably a shit to try and make the car lighter. I don't know what he was doing. And after he went down to the stewards, he said the reports now on the internet that he went to sue the stewards the stewards to argue, you're not getting out of it. At the end of the day, the 2 lights were there. He might have didn't see the first one, but the second one, he must have saw the second one. At the end of the day, you got the penalty, that's it. There's nothing you can do about it. You can argue your case. They're not going to reverse the decision. Look, next time, you never won the race. That's just the way it is. You never won the race. You can't win them all. And to me, it was nice for Hamilton not to win. Because I was sick of seeing the same people winning it over and over again. I told you on my channel, I am fair as they come. I am straight down the middle. I am a Hamilton fan. I am a Mercedes fan. But I'll tell you something now. If Hamilton does something wrong, and I've said it on all my videos, you can go back all my videos since late 2017. I will tell you now, if Hamilton does something wrong, I will come out and I will say it. I'm not going to be biased and say he didn't deserve the penalty. No. I will come out straight down and he deserved the penalty. I'm not sure about the 10 seconds, maybe 5, but he deserved a penalty. He deserved it. He never saw the first light, you get away, but the second light, he must have saw it. And that's just the way it is. He got the penalty. He's taking responsibility for it, because he's on the internet that he says that he's taking responsibility for it. And that's just the way it is. There's nothing you can do. He got the penalty, done. So, started at lap 28 at the restart. Hamilton picked a 10-second time stop and go penalty. Lap 31 for Verstappen. This is where I thought Hamilton, if Hamilton can try and get back in the top 7 or 8, top 8, and then, because Max Verstappen retired on lap 34, lap 31, Max Verstappen retired, so there's no point to Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen was second in the table. He was a couple of points in front of Valtteri Bottas. Bottas is not even in the top 5 at this time. All Hamilton can try and do, get into the top 8 or 7, try and get behind Bottas towards the end of the race, and you're not really losing that many points, because he was 57 points ahead of Max Verstappen, and now he's 57 points in front of Valtteri Bottas. So basically, the only ones that have switched is Bottas and Verstappen. Max Verstappen got a DNF and they swapped. That's all. So Max Verstappen now, if you think he was never going to win the world title anyway. He had a little smidgen chance, but he was never going to win the world title. They haven't got the car. He hasn't got the car under him. So, but now, that little chance that he had, this smidgen of a chance, he's gone out the window because he got a DNF. And that's it. He got a DNF. He's gone. Bottas has replaced him. So Hamilton is still 57 points ahead of second place. So really, Hamilton could have gained more points today. If he would have come first, but he never. And at the end of the day, that's just the way it is. You can't win them all. And to me, Pierre Gasly deserved this win. Lap 31, Lap 34, Sainz, savage takeover on Stroll. And then Kimi was getting battered. Kimi was getting took over like no one's business. Kimi was in that car. There was all flying past him. The McLarens of the Alpha Tauris. There was all flying past him. But as Lockie said, when you got a car like that under you, the Alfa Romeo, what can you do? It's got a Ferrari engine. Nothing left to say. What can you do? You can't do nothing. So as this race was going on, you had the last parts of the race. You had Pierre Gasly in front. You had second place. To me, Lance Stroll could have won it. Lance Stroll went after the restart. Lance Stroll locked up in one of the chicanes and he lost position. That's where Lance Stroll's race is gone. Sainz could have won it as well if they never had another red. If they wouldn't have black flagged the race, they would have carried on with it because he was in front because he knew that Hamilton would have had to take the penalty. So he would have been the guy in front after the safety car. So he could have won it as well. But it come down to Gasly. He was the guy who got himself in that position. He didn't make no mistakes. The luck was on his side, and Pierre Gasly stayed in front. Second place was Carlos Sainz, and third place Lance Stroll. And that was the end of the race. That was the end of the race, the whole day was about Pierre Gasly. At the end of the day, it was a good, exciting race. It was the best race of this season. That and probably the one at Silverstone where Hamilton's car broke down. But even then, that only happened at the end. This race was exciting from the beginning to the end. To me, this was the best race of the season. It was the best race of the season. And the best man won. And Pierre Gasly should be going back to Red Bull. Christian Horner's going to come out in Magello or whenever he gets interviewed. Because I know he's hiding because he's no... Albon's a mess. He's an utter disaster. And he's probably crying in his pillow and he's flipping in his little dorm somewhere. I don't know what he's doing. And he's probably crying somewhere because I've not even seen Gasly. But Christian Horner, he has to make a big decision, and Helmut Marko in these next couple of weeks. Because Albon is not going to be there next season. And if you're going to bring, obviously, Gasly, like Johnny Herbert says, they're just got to swap him over. And that's just the way, it's an easy transition. Swap him over. Albon goes to talk back to Alpha Tauri, right? And Pierre Gasly goes to Red Bull, and that's the way it's going to be, and that's the way it should be. But it's up to Helmut Marko really, and Christian Horner. So what we're going to do now, we're going to get the results, the final results. Let's get this on. Let's get the final results. It says on here now, it's got on the search. It says on here, Carlos Sainz gave absolutely everything in a superb second Italian Grand Prix. Hamilton explains to his visits during the Italian red flag, and Hamilton went to F1 race director Massey to argue his penalty. This was during when he was on his scooter, he went to argue with the steward, which I told you before. Yeah, it's just great. It's just great to see someone else on there. So let's go to the F1 website and we'll go to the official finishings results. The results are, let's get them up. We've got the results are Pierre Gasly 1, P1. 2, Carlos Sainz, brilliant, new names. 3, Lance Stroll. 4th place, Lando Norris. 5th place, Valtteri Bottas. He blew it. He gained 10 points today. Hamilton gained 7 points. So really, Hamilton, in a way, he hasn't really lost anything. He hasn't gained anything, but he hasn't really lost anything. Like I said, he was 57 points in front of Max Verstappen. He was second, and third was Bottas. And what happened is, because Max Verstappen didn't finish, Bottas finished 5th place. He's replaced Max Verstappen, but it's still 57 points behind Hamilton. So Hamilton, he should be walking away the happiest. Bottas ain't going to walk away with being happy at all. Not at all. Not at all. He was saying yesterday that he's going to beat Hamilton on the top and pass him. But he said that a few times. We know what Bottas is like. He says one thing and another thing happens. So 5th place, Valtteri Bottas. 6th place, Daniel Ricciardo. 7th place, Lewis Hamilton. 8th place, Esteban Ocon. 9th place, Daniel Fiat. 10th place, Sergio Perez. 11th place, Nicholas Latifi. 12th place, Roman Grosjean. 14th place, George Russell. 15th place, Alexander Albon. 15th place, Alexander Albon. Jesus. 16th place, Antonio Giovinazzi. And the ones that never finished was Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Kevin Magnussen, and Sebastian Vettel. Let's see the Drivers' Championship now. Lewis Hamilton on top with 164 points. And second place, Valtteri Bottas, 117 points. Third place, Max Verstappen with 110. Fourth place, Lance Stroll, 57. Fifth place, Lando Norris, 57. I just said that, yeah. Sixth place, Alexander Albon, 48. Seventh place, Carlos Sainz, 45. Eighth place, Pierre Gasly, 43. Ninth place, Carlos Sainz, 41. 10th place, Daniel Ricciardo, Renault, 41. 11th place, Sergio Perez, he's 11th place, got 34. 12th place, Esteban Ocon with 30. 13th place, Sebastian Vettel with 16. 14th place, Nico Hülkenberg. He got his little point when he was there. Nico Hülkenberg, 6 points. 15th place, Daniel Fiat, 4 points. 16th place, Kevin Magnussen, 1 point. Nicholas Latifi, Kimi Räikkönen, Roman Grosjean, and George Russell. Now look at the teams. Now we've got Mercedes on top. They've basically won the constructors. We all know that. With 281 points. Second place will definitely go to Red Bull with 158. Third place, we've got McLaren. And fourth place, so you got McLaren on 98 points. You got Racing Points with 82 points. You've got in fifth place Renault with 71 points, and Ferrari on 61. So we've got a nice little battle here. Midfield battle with McLaren 98, Racing Point 82, Renault 71, Ferrari 61. There's a nice little midfield battle. Even AlphaTauri's in there now with 47. So 8th place Alfa Romeo, 2 points, and that is 8th place. 9th place Haas with 1 point, and Williams with no points again. And that's Williams. That comes to Williams. I'm going to be doing a video on Williams this week. One of the days I'm going to do a video. It's going to be about half an hour video. It's going to be on the life of the Williams, the history of Williams from the beginning to the end, the rise and fall of Williams. I'm not sure what the title of the video is going to be, but look out for that video. It's going to be dropping sometime this week. I'm going to record it. And yeah, I'm going to look at the videos now. I'm going to see if we've got some onboard interviews. We're going to get the top 3. So we're going to start with Lance Stroll.
Back on the page.
So we've got Lance Stroll.
Back on the podium. Delighted?
Yeah, I'm really happy. It was just a bad start, a bad second start. There was no grip on that.
Yeah, so basically he's stating, yeah, he's really happy, but he's still a bit vexed about, not finishing. He said he could have got first. But he lost.
Delighted?
Yeah, I'm really happy. It was just a bad start, a bad second start. There was no grip on that P2 box. I had a lot of wheel spin, so I fell back to like 6th, I think it was, and then I just fought my way back to 3rd, and yeah, it was a great effort. I think the win slipped away from us today, though. We had an opportunity to win it.
Seemed like you had a great car underneath you, some great overtakes out there. Did you just feel alive out there?
I felt I had the pace, but Pierre drove a great race. Deserved the win today.
And how much satisfaction can you take from a good result, hopefully for the rest of the season?
We just got to keep pushing on. That's all we can do.
He's a bit annoyed. Yeah, he said he could have got it. He knows he could have got it. Still paying respect to Pierre Gasly, but he said he locked up in that chicane. He didn't have no grip, and that's where he's raced. He could have won it. He had the pace today, but look, he's got a long career ahead of him. He's going to be in Formula One for at least a decade. His time will come. We got Sainz P2. Didn't leave anything on the table in the quest for Monza victory. So, Carlos Sainz.
Carlos, at some points I thought I'd be standing here.
No advert, amazing.
Congrats to Pierre.
Carlos, at some points I thought I'd be standing here talking to you as a race winner. It was so close, wasn't it?
It was very close. Obviously, congrats to Pierre. 4 tenths away from a first win is. It has to have a sweet and sour feeling, I guess, with this P2, especially because today we were really, really quick. I mean, the way we managed to dominate the midfield in the first part of the race, then the safety car came out, and suddenly I knew Lewis had a penalty, or we will get a penalty, so I was virtually P1 on the race. Then the red flag came out, and I tell you, that was probably the angriest moment of my life, because I knew I was missing out on a potentially leading the race. But even with a used tire going through the field in the last few laps, was good fun, and nearly catching Pierre, obviously nearly, but happy with that.
And still your best result in Formula 1, so you've got to be happy, and the win's going to come, isn't it?
I hope so. In the future, the first win will come. Today, I felt like we definitely earned it with the pace we had, but there's situations, there's ways that sometimes life goes that doesn't want to happen. One thing I can tell you is that today I didn't leave anything on the table. I mean, you should have I was pushing as hard as I could, and I felt like I did the best I could to win the race today, and I will be back home to sleep knowing that I didn't leave anything in the table.
When you got that message from Tom to say no mistakes, and you said I'm going for the win, you were having nothing else, were you?
Of course, I had to. I mean, especially because I felt not robbed, but a bit like after a red flag, I felt like that should be me, and I was catching 2 tenths a lap, not a lot, especially because my tires were a bit used, so I couldn't use the new tire to exploit it, and I had to go through traffic, and that wasted my tires a bit more. But I was focused, and I was determined to try and get in the DRS of Pierre and then battle it out. I just could in the last 2 laps, but didn't quite make it happen by very little.
See, so Sainz could have won it as well. It's a red flag what done him as well. So you had 2 guys that could have won the race. You had Lance Stroll that was in front, locked up in the chicane, blew it, and then you had a guy like Carlos Sainz would have been in front because he knew that Lewis Hamilton would have had the penalty, and he would have been out in front. And when the red flag come out for him to come in, he was so angry because he knew that was his chance gone, because they had to restart the race. So when they restarted the race, Hamilton would have been out in front, even though Hamilton pitted just after the restart. So before we go to Carlos Sainz, before we go to Pierre, we've got one with Toto Wolff saying, Toto Wolff says, unpredictable Italian Grand Prix was a victory for Formula 1.
Toto Wolff, not the day I know that you guys wanted from the Italian Grand Prix.
A lost race for Mercedes, but a victory for all of Formula 1. I think it is so refreshing to see the podium and the young guys fighting in front. And I looked at the podium, and it was great. They all deserved it. Their teams made the right calls. They drove very well. The battle for the victory was good, and seeing them up there is very good news for the sport.
It really was. It was a fantastic run to the end, and nobody could begrudge any one of those 3 drivers their place on the podium. I want to talk though about Mercedes' day today, because obviously it didn't quite go to plan. The call for Lewis to come into the pits, was it a call the team made? Was it Lewis's own decision to come in? How did that actually unfold?
It was a very weird sequence of events, because there was a car parked to the right with a single yellow, and 10 or so seconds later the safety car was deployed. Highly unusual. In a normal circumstance you deploy a safety car if a Formula 1 car is in 1,000 Lego bits in some corner, but that wasn't the case. It was even, they could have pushed it back easily. Or you deploy a virtual safety car for such a situation. So a safety car was deployed, don't know why, and at the same time the pit lane was closed. And we as a team inside, we don't know that the pit lane is closed. We are all concentrating for the stop, bring the mechanics out, the engineers are turned towards the pit lane, and then one of our engineers back at base spotted on page 4 of the FIA communication system that it says pit lane closed. We don't see any of the orange crosses on the outside that say you can't enter. There is no red light that we could have seen. So very, very unlucky. And Lewis, these signs on the exit, yellow or orange crosses, not blinking. You as a driver, you see the car on the right, you're just about to pit, you can't see. But the penalty is what it is. I think we need to look at the sequence of events and discuss with the spotting director and with the stewards how can we improve such a situation.
Do you need something maybe as simple as just a light on the pit wall, that as soon as the pit lane's closed, a light would come on so that it's, as you say, it's an immediate signal that pit lane is closed? Similar for the drivers, if there's a red light at pit exit, for example, they know they can't leave pit exit. Just something that's an immediate flash.
You know, I think these funny crosses on the outside, they should be red, first of all. Maybe they should be blinking because the driver has his mind already onto the pit stop. And then at the pit lane entry, like we have had for bloody 50 years, put a damn red light that's red. So the driver comes and says, there's a red light. Well, then you don't enter. Why make things complicated if they can be easy?
Let's finish on a positive, though. As you say, a great day for Formula One. Top 3 drivers all absolutely loving it on the podium today. Gasly's had a horrible year or so. Carlos absolutely coming through to the fore. Lance, brilliant to see him up there, of course, for Racing Point. That you and Lawrence, obviously very good friends, and the relationship there. So great podium.
Yeah, fantastic. I obviously know Lance very well, and he really deserved to be there. It's his second podium. He's been on the front row here in Monza, so that is a track that suits him. And for the others, congratulations. I mean, Alpha Tauri, previously Toro Rosso, had a win here with Seb, so it seems to be going well for them too. And for Carlos, it was overdue, to be there. He was on the podium already, but I think for McLaren, a fantastic race, and seeing these 3 team up there, well deserved.
Yeah, just put a light on the pit wall, easy. When they go into the pit, the red light, you don't go in. But you can't take the win away from Pierre Gasly. He just deserved it. It was his time. We're gonna have Lewis Hamilton. Let's have Lewis Hamilton. Lewis, this is nice. Let's have Albon actually. Albon said it was a tough weekend for us as a team, and for you, yeah, it was.
Difficult start and then some contact with Pierre as well. Were you carrying any damage in the race?
Yeah, I don't know how much, but we were. I'll check it out with the guys because obviously it was a long race for us. Just didn't have any grip, so we definitely had damage. I'll see what the team has to say because it wasn't a fun race.
Yeah, P15 doesn't look reflected on the car you've got.
Yeah, no, obviously not. So it was a tough weekend for us as a team. Obviously, without the circumstances, it was always going to be tough. But it was no good day for us. Obviously, a better day for AlphaTauri. So well done to them guys. We'll put our heads down and focus for Mugello.
I'm scratching his head again. Let's go on to Hamilton. He says, let's go on, you know what, let's go on to Lando Norris. Praises also McLaren after a chaotic Italian Grand Prix.
Hey Lando, that was a hell of a race, wasn't it?
Quite something. I mean, I don't know what just happened really. I think it was a lot of chaos, extremely difficult, especially the last stint with the Mercedes behind. But an awesome result for us as a team, so all worth it. I guess, I'm just very happy for the team and for Carlos. You know, Carlos was in the prime position, he qualified ahead and he made the most of it, and I tried getting there too. I had a really good start up to P3 ahead of Bottas again, and really just got screwed over with the red flag. With Lance being able to change tyres and not have to do a pit stop. Bit of a... I don't think it's a great rule in my opinion. Some people like Pierre Gasly was just obviously drove very well at the same time, but he boxed before and he came out, and that's the way it is. I think that's more fair. But for someone who doesn't have to do a pit stop, it's kind of too much of a benefit, let's say. But I guess I'm a bit annoyed with that because of a chance to be on the podium for us as a team with Carlos, a chance to join him up there. But apart from that, was a tough race, very fun, difficult, but one of the best races for us as a team in God knows how many years.
Overall, I'm guessing you guys probably didn't think it was going to be as strong as it was coming in here. So how much?
I don't think we were like incredibly strong. You know, we had a very good start, and the team done a great job with the starts. And you know, it's not just down to the drivers having to nail it. A lot of it is down to that, but the team, you know, you have to set up the car well also for starts. And the team has done a lot of the development on that side of things. And I wouldn't have been P3 after turn one if it wasn't to that. So, you know, I think we put in a great few results, and a lot of the things over the last 2 years are paying off, and we're seeing a lot of the things today. But at the same time, you know, we were ahead of Bottas on merit. I got ahead of him at the start. I held him behind after the pit stop, and I think it's the first time really we see the engine rules not benefiting us, but just not showing the difference. You know, I think apparently Bottas was complaining that the engine rules are a joke and he needed more power, but they were the ones saying that they were going to benefit from all of this. So, you know, I think it's a bit more equality. And today, although a lot of the problems were, you know, with the safety cars and the red flags and a lot of that causing chaos, and obviously Hamilton's penalty for boxing when he shouldn't have done, we just capitalised on that. And I think, you know, we've worked hard to be in a position where we can do that, and we can get results like today. But at the same time, they were 1 second ahead of us in qualifying yesterday. So, you know, we got a lot of work to do, but at the same time, I'm very happy with how we did.
Yep, bit of a long interview, but we're gonna have one more. We're gonna Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri Bottas. He said Valtteri Bottas enduring a long afternoon for P5 at the Italian Grand Prix. He's not really that happy.
Valtteri, tough afternoon out there. I guess it pretty much went wrong from the start.
It was long afternoon, and you know, the start, I'm not quite sure yet what really happened, but in the first lap I had some contact, and I actually thought I had a puncture because I had big understeer in the 6 and 7, and then out of 7 the car was pulling to one side, so going into turn 8, you know, I was really cautious because I was sure that I had a puncture, but turned out I didn't, and after that it was just engine overheating issues, so running too hot with the engine water temperature, so that means I couldn't follow any cars, and that way I couldn't race them, so it felt long.
Did you have any damage on the car after you had that incident before you took to the grid?
I don't know, possibly because it didn't feel great today. It felt pretty slow today, so I don't know yet.
And you mentioned the engine overheating. I guess, was that the main reason why you just couldn't carve your way through the field as you normally would be able to do?
Sorry?
Was it the engine overheating that was the real struggle between why you couldn't carve your way back through the field?
I think the first half of the race, that was the biggest issue. A bit less so at the end, but at the end I just couldn't follow even in the corners, so yeah.
Bottas just deflated. He blew it today. He blew it. Imagine if he would have been in front and Hamilton, he would have got some nice points on Hamilton. But he ain't getting shit. He ain't getting shit, man. Nothing. We got Lewis Hamilton praised his race winner Gasly after unfair Red Bull demotion. After Lewis Hamilton, see what it is, right? Lewis Hamilton, any chance he gets is laying into Red Bull, but he's doing it in a dignified way, a smart way. He's not like a savage coming after. He's doing it smart. He's saying, look, I think Max right. He's ahead, and he said it last week. I think Max is ahead in the team. Albon is not there yet. He's saying that Red Bull shouldn't have dropped Gasly. I think that was unfair. All this a dig at Horner, because Horner had been trying to dethrone him, especially at the beginning of the season. It didn't work, did it? So we're gonna have this interview now. Lewis Hamilton praised his race winner Gasly after unfair Red Bull demotion.
What went through your mind when you heard about the penalty?
Definitely wasn't too happy, but you know, it is what it is. It's not, you know, I went to see the stewards just double check, and they had good footage. There was signs saying the pit lane was closed, and I didn't really see them. So ultimately, partly my fault, and then obviously the team asked us to stop. So I think just collectively we didn't do a great job there, and congratulations to Pierre. I think that's an amazing result, considering he was dropped from the top team, from the what do you call it? The
senior team, Red Bull.
Yeah, Red Bull. Unfairly, I think it's been really good for him to build up and build confidence and get a fantastic result today. So huge congrats to him.
And I know you're a racer at heart, so was it quite nice at least to be battling through the field, trying to get what you could out of the race?
Yeah, no, definitely. I was giving it everything. I mean, the first part sucked, the 26 seconds behind the last car. Oh God, that felt like I was in no man's land. But really, really grateful for the points that I got in the end. And yeah, I'd move on to the next one and give it my best. But up until then, I think I'd done a really, really good job. Start was perfect, and both starts I think were pretty perfect. But today wasn't meant to be the day.
And he's smiling all the way through the interview. Anyway, Pierre Gasly admits having his debut F1 win at Monza was unbelievable. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Pierre, Formula One Grand Prix winner, how does that sound?
It sounds amazing, to be fair. I struggle to realize what's happening. I know it's been such a crazy ride in the last 18 months. And yeah, today we're Italian Grand Prix race winner, and I just want to thank all the people who helped me to make that possible. And I mean, it was unexpected. We just focused on ourselves the whole time since last year, improving day by day. And to have such an outcome in Italy for an Italian team, and also for myself, I slept home all the weekend. I'm living 30 kilometers from here now. It feels almost like home, and it's my first F1 win is unbelievable.
Is that the key to wins then? Stay at home?
Probably. I should have moved earlier in Milan. No, it's crazy. I think it was a difficult race, to be fair, because after the red flag, we had a good start. We moved to P2, but then after that, Carlos hunting me down for I don't know how many laps, slowly closing. And we know when we're leading here, you don't get a tow. You're slower in the straights. I just gave everything I had, and the last few laps were difficult. I had no more tire left; they were completely gone. But I just kept pushing, and the feeling when I crossed the line was. I have no words to put on that.
How nerve-wracking was it leading the Grand Prix?
I felt good because the car was great. I didn't have anyone in front of me. I could just focus on my own driving. I was in my own world, just trying to take one corner at a time and really nail everything. So it just felt good. Honestly, if I could be in that position more often, I would take that. But yeah, obviously, when I cross the line, I don't know what to say. Honestly, it's just an amazing feeling.
That's a man. He's so happy, and he deserves to be. And I'm glad. And that's the end of the review. Pierre Gasly deserved it. 100% sure. Christian Horner needs to take another look at Albon and say he's the man for the job, and he's not the man for the job. Pierre Gasly is the man for the job. But we'll keep Pierre Gasly go there. We might start AlphaTauri for another season. Or maybe a big team, a bigger team, maybe a big team will come looking for him. So yeah, this is it then. This is a solo P1. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Subscribe, follow, like. Links are going to be below for my Twitch channel. I'll be streaming tonight. I stream 5 days a week, 4 or 5 days a week on Twitch. I'll leave all the links below. I'm going to be doing, like I said, I'm going to be doing a Williams video. It's going to be dropping sometime this week. I'm just getting my notes over, getting everything ready for that video. And yeah, I'm going to leave you now with the Williams. This is Claire Williams. Basically, at the end, it's going to be 2 videos. You're going to have Claire Williams. She's going to be. Actually, I'm going to have the Williams drivers on there. I'm going to have the Williams drivers on there. You're going to hear. First, you're going to have Claire Williams releasing Latifi out of the pits for the last time, as a owner of Williams, as a chairwoman, whatever she is. And then you're going to have the 2 interviews from Latifi. Latifi and Russell, and then at the end we're gonna have the dedicated video. It's like when they finish racing, they got the radio at the end. You're gonna hear the radios from Latifi and George Russell. I'm gonna leave you with that. I'm gonna disappear now. I'm going to play the Russell interview first.
Hey George,
Hello.
exciting one out there today, wasn't it?
Indeed. I mean, very unfortunate that we didn't look into it with the red flag and the safety car, just part of the game, because the car was feeling really good today, especially at the end. And unfortunately, we were just missing a bit of straight line speed because every time I overtook, they just re-overtook me in the straight, which was a little bit frustrating. But I'm really, really happy to see the top 4 drivers. As much as I love seeing Mercedes dominate as I'm a Mercedes driver, incredible to see the top 4, and especially 4 youngsters, slowly take it over. So, no, really pleased with them all.
And you had a great little battle with Romain Grosjean throughout the race, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Love being with Romain. So much fun. God. Yeah, that's the thing. I stuck right behind him the whole race, and I kept overtaking him in the straight, and then he would repass me down into turn 4. So, like I said, we need to look, it's a good lesson for us to say you can have a fast car, but if you don't have a straight line speed, you can't race. And we're here to go racing.
Nicholas, you almost gave Claire a point on her last race. How was it to be battling right up there near the points?
Yeah, it was a tricky race, obviously. I know I lucked into the position from having completed the pit stop before, prior to the red flag. And then, it was definitely nice. I mean, it's like I got into Q3, let's say, starting in the top 10. So, that was nice to experience another race starting. But, I think we're just still struggling a lot in those situations where it's, the first laps, full tires, and we just seem to be losing so much more. So you kind of just feel a bit helpless at that stage, and you're just really trying to keep it on the track and not crash into anybody else, to be honest. So once the race settled down, I think the pace was not so bad. Managed to catch up to Kimi, which was nice. Still, again, was evident our straight line deficit. It was really not easy to pass him, but happy overall with the result. Obviously, just like you said, just missing out on the points would have been nice to reward Claire on her departure with that, but we can still be satisfied, I guess.
This is Claire Williams releasing Latifi from the pits for the Williams drivers for the last time. I'm going to play this footage now, and after you're going to hear the dedication on the radio from the 2 drivers to the Williams family.
Claire, if I could just say that was executed wonderfully.
So now this is the dedication of the radio from the guys at the Williams, and you're going to hear it now. I'm going to put it on for you now, the last radio footage, and it's quite emotional. And this is to the Williams family. I hope you success in the future. And this is Solo P1 signing out. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And this is Claire Williams. This is George Russell Latifi's heartfelt thanks to Claire Williams. It's 1 minute and 19 seconds.
I just had to take this opportunity to say to Claire and thank you so much for everything you've done for me, for the whole team. It's going to be a shame to see you leave. We'll really miss you, and just thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Claire, I'm sure you're going through a world of emotions right now. I just wanted to say one last time, thank you for everything you've done for me, for giving me this opportunity. I know I'm going to miss you. F1 is going to miss you. Just be sure that we'll keep pushing 100% to bring the Williams name back to where it belongs. Wishing you, Mark, Nate, the best, and wherever life takes you next. Thank you. Thank you.